Welcome, everybody. Bienvenidos to the Your Time Junto con Ariel podcast. I'm here with my next guest, who actually, we were just talking about that just a couple of minutes ago. We met 10 years ago. Actually, it might have been even today. It was on a hike to Enchanted Rock. And there was something interesting that happened on that hike. And we're going to go ahead and talk about it. She's a great person, a lovely Latina over here on the west side. West Side representing. So, without further ado, Miss Edith Melendez. Thank you so much for joining me here on this podcast journey that I'm taking.
Awesome.
So, we were talking about, we met 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was on a hike. And I think it was through these meetup groups that they have online, right?
Yep.
And we were all supposed to meet somewhere, right? And I think it must have been you and maybe 3 other individuals.
Yeah. The group was supposed to be like 10 people.
Yeah, and so it was very small. And so you offered to drive, right? So we rode with you. She's a complete stranger. So we jumped in her car and we took off to Fredericksburg to Enchanted Rock. All right. So if you guys have ever been there, it's a very magical place. You know, great hike.
Absolutely.
Right. And the only thing that happened, there is this part of the hike, of course it's optional, where you got to hike through this, was it like a cave or a tunnel?
It's a tunnel.
Tunnel, okay.
It really is.
And so they went through it, right? And that was the last one. Pero me pegó como claustrofobia de repente. So I started, and I get bien asustado, so I just stopped. And they kept going, right? They had no idea that I was not following them, right? So when did you realize that I wasn't part of the group?
You didn't come out.
As I stayed there waiting, and I didn't know how to get to them. I figure maybe I'll just go over the rock and over to the other side, and I'll find them there. No,
it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way. But it was crazy.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, I can't believe it. 10 years ago, I met this wonderful person. And so, as part of my podcast, I like to have conversations with people that I find very interesting. And not to mention people that are actually out there for other people, that care about other people and what they can do in their part to help. And that's kind of why I wanted to have you on my podcast, because you have that type of personality.
Oh, thank you.
And so we're just going to sit here. Edith, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
So I'm actually from 4 hours north of San Francisco. When people think that, they probably think like Napa Valley. I'm talking about like way further north. Like I'm thinking like the redwood forests.
Mm-hmm.
So
those big old trees?
Yeah, where you can see the famous Chandler tree, where it's like the trunk is so thick you can like drive right through the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So depends on what morning I was waking up. I'd either open the window and you'd get the ocean, the salty
mist
with seaweed combined, or you could open it up and it's all the forest pine and leaves and super nostalgic over it. You obviously regret it when you don't have it around you anymore. But definitely moved down to Texas as fast as I could.
Mm-hmm.
So
what year did you move here to Texas?
You'd be surprised, but it's been a minute. It's 2002.
2002.
Yeah. 2002. Wow. I left my entire senior year back in California to complete it here at a school called South San.
South San. Yes, I'm very familiar with South San.
Yeah, a culture shock for sure. It was absolutely a culture shock.
How different was it compared to what you were used to?
Okay.
Because it's interesting that you say that, right? Because California, they call you guys Chicanos, right?
Somos Chicanos.
And here we're Tejanos, right?
Tejanos.
And some people always try to think that they're the same, but they're not.
No, they're not. I had no idea. So you have a lot of people. Well, let's say the contrast is I was one of the few brown people up north. So everybody that's from there, whether they're Portuguese, Mexican, Italian, they held on to their roots like strong, like they're strong rooted in their family culture. Whereas here, we'd see a Maria or a Miguel, and they'd say, hey, por favor, ¿me puedes guiar? ¿Dónde están los tomates, por favor? Oh, I don't know. I don't speak Espanol. And it took me a while to learn
that a lot.
the history. There's so much history with Texas being so new because of the Santa Ana giving up during the whole Alamo thing. And up till just 3 generations ago, people were still getting beat on their hands for speaking
In
Spanish.
Yes.
So because of that, now I don't feel really bad saying, hey, con el nopal en la frente
Para en la frente.
y no sabes hablar español. Now I understand it's just 2-3 generations ago where people were getting basically hit and harassed.
I can relate to that because both of my parents, Spanish was their first language. And growing up, they didn't speak Spanish to us. However, grandparents spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
But we were the typical Hispanic kids. Our grandparents talked to us in Spanish. Now, they understood English,
Yeah.
right? So we answered them in English,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't until maybe 1998 that I wanted to become fluent in Spanish. But not just fluent, but quiero expresar mis emociones igual en español como inglés,
Yeah.
right? So what
And it sounds so much cooler in español también.
so I went to some place called, I was in Del Mar College in Corpus Christi, Texas, and it was called Intercambio. And I think it was an immersive method of learning the language.
Yeah, that's
So
for sure.
there were people there from Spain and Argentina that were trying to learn English. And so what you would do is you would just sit down and we have conversations just like this.
Yeah.
Right? And they would have a mediator / teacher, whatever you want to call them, would say, for the next 5 minutes, we're going to speak nothing but English. For the next 5 minutes, we're going to speak nothing but Spanish.
That's so cool. I would love to do something like that.
And so, and then towards the end, they would make it a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
The Spanish-speaking natives would have to answer in English, and we'd have to ask questions in Spanish.
Nice.
So that was, in my opinion, that's the best way
It is.
to
It
learn
is.
a language, because it was my second language. But now, yo siento muy cómodo hablando en español.
Sí,
No
se puede
tengo, no
vivir.
tengo problemas para nada para hablar. Me encanta hablar español.
Así el estilo de Argentina.
Yeah. So my accent, everybody here, like even when I work with people, because when I started working in home health, this was my area,
Yeah.
the west side.
No way.
Toda la calle de los Santos, right? Those were all the patients that I treated back in 2006, right?
Wow.
And so every time I'd come up to talk to a Spanish-speaking individual, ¿y tú? ¿De dónde eres? Tienes un acento como medio raro. Es como...
Te decían a ti. A ti te decían.
Así a mí, porque como estuve, mi acento es un poquito mezcla de argentino y español. So, but that's the way I learned the language.
Yeah.
So everybody that I talk to that's a Spanish speaker will say like, you have this accent. Where
No
is it
eres de México, ¿de dónde eres?
No, ¿de dónde eres?
Yeah.
It's just the way I learned the language.
Yeah.
So
I think they said they had like over 100 dialects of native tongue all through Latin America. So, shoot.
but what freaks me out is Puerto Ricans, okay?
Freaking Puerto Ricans.
Boricuas. Now, they chop the words. Is that what they do?
They shorten them.
Yeah, because I...
So instead of saying tortilla, they say tortilla.
Tortilla.
They don't say tortilla. They say tortilla. Pásame la tortilla.
Yeah, and the other one is, which we, in this area...
Yeah.
Okay, see, okay, so this is, okay, it's PG-13, my podcast. Okay, so sorry if a curse word slips out, but it's just in the context of how the people speak, okay?
Yeah.
Say, for instance, I had a Puerto Rican, and he was telling me the story when he got here, okay? Now, for instance, he was wanted to tell the gentleman to pick up his suitcase for him, okay? All right, she knows where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
So we say recoger, okay? Now, Puerto Ricans say, puedes coger mi maleta.
Yeah.
And the guy just looked at
They
him.
just forget the whole RE in front of it.
And so he said, I'm not going to screw your suitcase.
Yeah, I'm not going to fornicate with your suitcase.
But I mean, that's like an example of how they cut the words. Because most people could say our Spanglish is another dialect, right? That's spoken around here.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Everybody here habla un poquito de los dos idiomas.
But they're mixing the words that are not a word in either language, English or Spanish. Like, for instance, troca.
Garaje.
Garaje. Guáchate.
Guáchate.
Over here, there's a ice cream truck that I've seen. In the back, it has a warning that says, Cuídate por los kids.
Cuídate por los kids. That is definitely super Spanglish, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's its own dialect.
Because I think like for the señoras, like the ones who don't really speak English, they understand cuídate. That's all they need to know.
Cuídate.
And then the rest for the kids.
But like, it's like I said that, you know, even like my son's mother is from Guadalajara, Mexico. And I remember when I first met her, she was very critical of the Spanglish, right?
Critical in a good or bad way?
More like a bad way, right? And but you know, after a while, she started talking like that, right? I guess she's
acclimated to the
There you go. She's a victim of the environment. And like I said, I think maybe it's already a dialect of this area.
Right.
And it's not good or bad because if you've ever seen, there's a video of people from different parts of like Latin America.
Yeah.
You know how they say different words.
Oh, most definitely. You always learn. The more you travel, the more you learn the dialect.
Like, you know, like potato. How do you say it in Spanish?
Una papa.
Okay. Los españoles se dice patata.
Una patata.
Right?
Yeah, una papa.
And a tortilla in Spain is something totally different.
What is it?
It's more like a quiche, is what it is. It's got, I think, like, you know, they make it with egg and they put maybe some form of meat and vegetables in there, but that's what a tortilla is in Spain. And I had a political science teacher one time that he went over to Madrid and because what I've been hearing, people that go to Spain, I haven't been there. I'm dying to go.
I was just there last summer.
Oh, for real? Now, is it true that they don't use the spices as much as...
They don't.
Yeah,
No.
So he was like craving some form of Tex-Mex
Yeah, they don't have a lot
cuisine.
They don't have a lot of spices. I think, if anything, they're pretty light on a lot of the stuff. Marinades is going to probably be in their broths for like their famous patay, ¿cómo se dice?
Paella.
Paella. Yeah, but I mean, shoot, it's still good. Well, we're so used to like Mexican cuisine has like a punch of flavor. So you'll get a punch of hot sauce or something spicy or something super salty or something super sweet. Like, so I think we're already acclimated to that. So when we go everywhere else, I can tell you the same thing about Peru. Tons of patatas, papas, 200 tipos de papas, 200 types of potatoes that they have in Peru. And I personally, I'm not a fan of the Peruvian food. I think it's because my Mexican tongue was craving a punch of something.
So, yeah, speaking of Mexican and tortilla, so he saw a tortilla on the menu and he was craving it because he's from South Texas. And, you know, tortilla, he saw that and he goes, give me 9 tortillas.
No way.
And the waiter says, Senor, you don't want 9 tortillas. Yes, I do. So, okay. So the waiters came back. It was like these plates, you know, about this big of that.
They didn't even explain what it was.
No.
That's horrible. I think as a waiter, that shame on the waiter who didn't explain that to them.
Speaking of tortillas, now have you heard of a group called Metalachi?
No.
Okay. Now, what they do, they're a mariachi group that play rock songs.
Oh,
but they play them estilo mariachi, right? They do Crazy Train. They do Run to the Hills.
Or Creep. I think I saw one where they did Creep.
Yeah, well, see, and these guys are like comedians at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So they're very talented. And so I saw them over at Paper Tiger a couple of years ago, right? And so they're talking about, See, I was telling you earlier, right? I run everything in circles on the conversations, right? Going back to tortillas. So he was saying as Mexicans, it's tortillas. Mexicans use it for everything.
Yeah.
Right? Hasta papel de rollo. So no tenemos. Okay? But just be careful. Don't put that back into circulation. Because the next morning, instead of getting a taco de papa, you can get a taco de caca.
That's a... Man,
the 5-year-old in me could not stop laughing.
Yeah, unless you jump over to Mexico and you can just go and get the toiletries over there.
No, but it was hilarious, man. It was a great show. If you ever check them out, Malachi. They play like it sounds like traditional mariachi music, but they're playing like they do "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I love that song.
And they're playing it mariachi style.
Oh,
and
man.
"Here I Go Again" by Whitesnake.
And they're here in San Antonio.
Well, they're originally from California. And they toured throughout the country.
Yeah.
The last time I saw them, it was like a couple of years ago. But they're usually here like once a year. Right. So usually around April. So I'll let you know. Maybe we'll head out and go see Malachi.
I'm totally down. Invite me.
They put on a great show.
Una mezcla de culturas. I love it.
And the funny thing is that they were saying that most of this music is from the 80s. So,
even better.
So I'm a, Gen Xer, right? So most of us Gen Xers, we're getting up there, right? So, and these guys are fairly young, and they were saying, man, check it out. A lot of potential sugar mamas here.
No way.
And
no way they would.
And it's because they all have diabetes.
Oh, no.
He goes, those ARP checks, they don't bounce.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So, Edith, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So, I'm going to kind of start off by saying that I was recruited into real estate back in 2006. Just because of my personality. I guess it's very outgoing, bubbly. And they're like, we need somebody like you who speaks Spanish in our industry. So I said, okay, why not? I left where I was and I started real estate pretty early. It was like boot camp style because I started off in a boutique real estate firm. And then from there, graduated over to like your basic brokerage, like Century 21 and all of them. And I was trying to get my footing in there. And I realized quite quickly, because I was super ambitious and ready to get going. Most people, going from no experience to like getting your first listing or transaction in real estate, they'll say, be patient, you're new, it'll take you like 6 months. It took me 1 month. And that was because I had to get my name out there. It's just promoting whatever business you have. You just start doing a campaign and just let everybody know what it is that you're doing. So I started doing that. Little did I know, not too long after that, we had the 2007, 2008 subprime lending crash. So
that was with the variable interest rates?
They were subprime. So they were loans that should not have been approved were getting approved. They were like no income basis. Oh, you make 100,000? Sure, let me just put that on paper. You didn't even have to prove it. So they're doing some pretty fishy stuff. People that shouldn't have been qualifying for homes were. So
a lot of people lost their homes
because they weren't vetted for the loan properly. So that's what kind of led up to all of that. But yeah, no, it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. And I ended up kind of getting myself into the foreclosure department. And one of the things that I noticed that a lot of the people that were facing losing their homes, I mean, there's a couple things that people have in their life that are super important. It's the spouse that you're going to choose to live your life with, the children that you guys are going to raise, the home you guys are going to raise them in, and then death. Something fun in between, I'm pretty sure. But the fact that I was able to kind of help them in one of those, the stories that I kept hearing, it was just heartbreaking. Just a lot more reason why we need more knowledge and education. But a lot of people lost their homes, and I couldn't do anything unless they paid up front, So, yeah, basically, that kind of led me into getting into the life insurance industry. And the reason I say it's financial services. So financial services kind of encompasses everything from your roof, and like an analogy, like you can't have a house without a roof, but you can't have a house without a foundation either. So the foundation being, if something were to happen to you, what's going to happen to your wife if you're gone? Is she going to be able to take care of your truck? Tu trocota del año. La trocota, la mamalonsky, right? La troca que cuesta $70,000. Is she going to take care of that? You know, how about the mortgage? You know, a lot of the times, if it's a trad family, it's like the wife stays home, the husband's working, he falls out of a roof, she passes away, she loses everything. And a lot of the reasons why, when I was in the foreclosure and the mortgage industry for real estate, one of the biggest things that I saw was sickness, death, or medical bills, the hardships, right? So I saw a need, and I said, well, I couldn't help them when I was working for corporate, but maybe I can get licensed and kind of heal something on the backside so that if something did happen, then maybe they wouldn't feel as bad having a comma check to kind of help them stay afloat, to kind of, you know, not have to worry about those losses. It was really sad. I mean, you don't want to have a position where you hear all these stories and you go home and there's like a cloud over your head and you're just like, you know, you're like, oh, it's so sad. I had to hear this story about this lady. She's got 4 kids and she's going to be on the streets because I had to take her home away from her. So yeah, financial services encompasses, like, in case the husband passes away, we have stuff where you can put benefits for your children. As soon as they're born, you can put something for them so that by the time they're ready to go to college, you already funded their college.
Yeah.
And it's compounding interest, right? And then we have bonito y barato, people who may otherwise not have the financial means for it, but they want something. And then we have something for people who invest, that say, you know what, I want to make this work like a pension. I want to put my money in, and instead of a 401k, because you're capped, you know, and you're a 401k and your Roth. So like if you want to really grow it and really have a nice pension, there's other avenues for that as well. So I'm always looking for something that I can teach my community how not to stay in the same situation that they were when they crossed the border, or, you know, fresh off the boat is what they call them. Or because our family doesn't come from that, you know, type of background. They don't know anything about real estate. You know, I got into it because in Mexico, they go to a notary. Oh, let's just go to a notary and write something on paper and oh, ahí te la rento, and there's no protection. So when they come on this side, they need somebody who can read the contracts, who can tell them the legal jargon. I'm not an attorney by any means, but I can summarize what the promulgated real estate contract says for them in Espanol. And then same thing in insurance. Every person is different. Just like your thumbprint is different, your individual need is going to be different. You can do a combination. You can do so many things to customize something that's fit for you. So that's what I like doing. If I can do something good to enlighten or bring something positive, it's delayed gratification though. But if I can help somebody in case something were to ever happen, I'm definitely all for it. I don't think I could do something where I have to take someone's joy away. So
that's fascinating. You know, it's all those are interesting points that she's bringing up, and hopefully we can bring out some kind of awareness to everybody out there. Because even she was saying earlier, you know, we may not be able to work, or we don't want to work when we're like 80.
No.
Still be part of the workforce, you know, because we have to keep the lights on.
Right.
So, you know, we'll find out her information. If you need to contact her to find out, to plan your financial future for, you know, your retirement, or what is something that were to happen to you, how would your family and your kids be taken care of? I mean, it's very important stuff that people don't think about. Right.
Yeah.
Until it happens to you.
In any kind of losses, like right now we're in a time where people are losing their jobs and they don't know what to do with their 401k. What do I do with it? So I definitely, if you don't want to have to pay taxes on it, taxes is always going to be there. I can show you how to avoid paying taxes like Trump. So It's there. It's definitely there. There's a book, tax code book that people need to check out. But if you don't want to read it, then just talk to a financial services rep, and we'll take care of you.
Yes, so definitely look for her. I'll put a little overlay here, her contact information, right here. I have to go back in editing and find that out. What time is that? It's like at the 20 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Editing, all right? So as far as, we can go into another topic right now, the arts, right? Music. What's your favorite genre of music?
Oh man, I love anything with soul, like whether it be EDM, house, Arabic soul, like guitar with soul. Even like violin. I've been getting into some really weird soul
Yeah, like
type
the
music.
fusion stuff is really cool.
Oh yeah, it's fusing like different things. Like you wouldn't think EDM and like.
So there's something you got to check out. I think I mentioned it in episode 3 with Mr. Andy Narvaez. My friend, he plays in a classic rock band.
Oh wow.
Now, have you heard of fake music?
Fake
Music, right? What they'll do a rendition of a song, but in a totally different genre. Like they were doing Iron Maiden, but if it was funk.
No.
And when you listen to it, it sounds like James Brown, but it's the lyrics to "Run to the Hills." So they what they do is they'll get the song and they'll change the genre and make it.
I've seen some of that.
It's on Instagram.
Yeah, I've been checking out some fusion type stuff on Spotify. You just enter like the 80s and then some bands will do some sort of stuff like what you're saying.
And speaking back of like when Metalachi, the opener was a band called Bear Brass, Bejar, Bear. Okay,
Bear, yeah.
I guess they're originally from here. And they were high school band kids that loved rock music, and they're all like brass, the horns, trombones, and what they're doing like Stone Temple Pilots. They're playing all these like rock songs, Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart, but they're playing it, but there's no lyrics, but it's just them. Like imagine if a marching band were to play it.
Oh man, I would have loved to have been in a marching band.
So yeah, I was in marching band.
Man,
I played the saxophone.
Just the music and just the beat.
If you were in band, what instrument would you have played?
Oh, drums for sure.
Like the snare, the tritoms, or
yeah, whatever. Just
probably I'd see you probably on the tritoms, or what they call them, the quads. They're like 4 drums like that, and you go all the way.
Oh heck yeah!
That's I think pretty much the heart of the percussion section.
Low key, I always wanted to be in a girl band. Rock band.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for reals.
What, like guitar player, vocalist?
Band,
drummer?
drum.
Drum, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just want to beat the heck out of it.
As far as speaking of concerts, have you seen anybody live in concert?
Yeah, so Ozzy, Slipknot, The Neighborhood, Korn.
Oh, wow. That was like back in the Deftones.
Yeah.
Korn was like early 2000s.
Woo. Yeah, it was way 2000.
I think Korn was big, like 99, 2000.
Yeah, it's like 2003. I want to say 2003.
Yeah, that was
It was Korn and Ozzy, like together. Like I guess it was like a.
Was it Ozfest?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Because that was where you have those concerts, and there was like they usually had one.
They have an opening act. Yeah.
And I remember that was the whole alt metals era.
Yeah. I was definitely the Hot Topic girl that used to. It was either Hot Topic, Paxson. So coming from California, I only had 2 types of wardrobes. One of them was either surfer girl kind of thing / Hot Topic, and the other one was always business casual. I'm that kid in school that I always dressed business casual with like blazers. I have pictures too. And if I wasn't just like that, I was wearing boots, like actual like kick your butt boots with my jeans and like skater clothes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
you were like into like the goth look a little bit, or?
I never wore goth, but I was, if you look at me, you'd think, oh yeah, she's either a skater or a surf girl.
Yeah, he's got that jet black hair.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's I love it was a mix between like rock and roll meets Tupac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so definitely California.
Wow. So, what about him? Were you a fan of his music, Tupac?
Oh, yeah, for sure. California
California.
knows how to party.
Every time I hear that it was actually the beginning of a dance show on MTV called The Grind.
Oh, yeah, I
You
remember
remember that?
that.
They would play that at the beginning.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, memories.
Yeah,
We're aging ourselves here.
tell me about it. But like I said, I can't really get it. Well, there's, some modern rock bands that I like, but they sound like bands from like the 70s and 80s.
They're trying. They're bringing it back.
Yeah, and I love them, right? But other than that, I can't really get in. Just me. And to each his own.
Yeah.
Like Provolone, right? But forgive me, I'm
like
not.
Provolone?
Like Provolone, yeah.
Like Provolone.
To each his own, like Provolone, right? Okay, I might get hate from this, okay? And it nothing political at all. I'm not a fan of Bad Bunny.
No. You know what? I got to tell you something. I'm not a big fan either.
I love reggaeton. Hey, Daddy Yankee.
But one thing I will say that I do like is that they are walking backwards. It's like have you seen that meme where it's like everybody is all lined up in a huge crowd to go to a certain direction, but then there's the most difficult path and it's just one person. Like, I feel like with his message and everything, people are so scared with today's propaganda and what's happening in the music industry that if you don't follow big man's orders, then you're not going to have your records play on the radio stations. You're not going to get promoted. Si no haces caso, we're not going to help you. Yeah. And I think he just doesn't care.
And like I said, it's just like, I like there's some reggaeton, like I was saying earlier, like I like Daddy Yankee.
Yeah.
He said one day.
Old cool Daddy Yankee.
But it just that to me, okay, I can't understand a single thing he's saying. It sounds like mumble reggaeton.
And that's okay.
And that's all right. To each his own.
As long as the beat. I think for me, I listen to French music, Portuguese music, Arabic music. Even I think there's Russian and Turkish music that I listen to.
Yeah.
I don't understand ni papas.
But the beat, right?
It's the beat and the vocals. You can put so much emotion into your vocal cords. When what is it that you're trying to convey? And so I'm that weird one that's blasting up French music and I don't even know what they're saying, but
when it gets down to is like my perspective on everything, right?
Right.
I work in the healthcare field. I used to go into people's homes. Now I'm working in nursing homes, and I'm working with people from all different walks of life, all different ethnicities, and all different types of ideologies, both political, religious, and like I said, I don't have an opinion. It's you're free to believe whichever you want, but when it comes to music, it seems like it's taking a path that I don't care for. Like, well, if you like this person, you're associated with this. If you like this person, you're associated with that. Instead of just appreciating the music.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what everybody's turned this Super Bowl halftime show. And I guess okay, it was halftime show and I didn't care for it, but that's just me. But it wasn't I didn't care for it, not because of whatever he stands for. I liked the message, what he was talking about, how he's trying to bring awareness to Puerto Rico and how they're still struggling after the hurricane. Hey, I'm cool with that, and I agree with that.
Right.
But his music, I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I think it was not so much his music. I think he was there more because he was handed the platform. And if you're going to be given that opportunity to present a platform, use it for good. You can do it. You see artists that they're given a platform and they don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
If you get to a certain point in your life where you're famous, what are you going to do with that fame? Are you going to have greed and still sell more records to kind of take? Or are you going to say, you know what, now I have enough money, and recognition, I'm going to open up an orphanage. I'm going to open up and do good. I'm going to start giving. Like, how many artists do we know?
Yeah, they do that. Actually, Ozzy.
Keanu Reeves.
I know Keanu Reeves has donated a big portion of his wealth actually to charity.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. And but getting back to what I was talking about as far as if you associate, and I see it online even with my friends, like, you know, just because you enjoyed it, hey, that's great for you. You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have some other people with, you know, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? So people are saying it's un-American. Well, isn't Puerto Rico U.S. territory?
Yep.
So how is it not American?
Isn't America a land of immigrants?
You know, but you know, because it's
Last I checked.
just like I remember Jose. You know who Jose Feliciano is, right?
Feliciano.
You know who he is, right?
Maybe.
God, Feliz Navidad.
Okay, it's a way.
Well, anyway, I think it was at a baseball game back in 1970 something. He came up and he did his version of the national anthem, but he sang it in Spanish, right? So people were telling him to go back where he came from, you know, to go, you know, get out of this country. And he was saying, "I'm from Puerto Rico." It's like,
no way.
It's U.S. territory.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just the devil's advocate in me playing both sides, you know, like I said, and it's because I'm a neutral guy. I don't care.
But I mean, he could have turned that around and told them, be like, you came from Germany. You came from
the whole country.
Europe.
The whole country is immigrants.
Yeah, they're all immigrants. I mean, shoot,
you know, when I took
came on the Mayflower.
When I took political science, right? And okay, so this is still neutral, so please don't anybody take this the wrong way. When I took political science, even the Americas, the indigenous people migrated here from Asia, right? They said at one time all the continents were connected together.
Oh, Pangea.
And, you know, those people, because they found a particular type of spear, you know, up there, like in Asia somewhere, that was identical to one found in the Americas. Right?
Yeah,
and because you ever look at, like, you
the
know,
Native Americans
and like Eskimos, they look very similar
because of the Mongolians crossing over the Strait of Canada, Canada, and then coming back into the United States.
So, you know, they were the first ones here, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it was just interesting what I found. You know, the whole story of the missions, right, over here, San Jose missions, all of them, right?
The stories, yes, the history.
Okay, well, you know, they established it there because, you know, they offered refuge to certain tribes of indigenous people. Because from what I've heard, and okay, forgive me if I'm getting my history wrong, the Apaches were the bullies here, right? They would go after other, you know, like I said,
like the Comanches.
They're no different than, it's human nature, right? They did the same thing.
It's territory.
So, you know, they would rape, plunder, and murder, right? So the missions offered them, you know, protection, but they had to give up their whole identity.
And they had, at the cost of gentrification.
Yeah, they had to convert to Christianity and give up their life of being like nomads, right, for protection. So,
Savages.
So that's what the story behind, you know, in this area. I find it very fascinating and interesting, right? And the way I look at everything now, it's just so much division. And you know what? I always tell people, like, where I work at, and at the Hondo Community Care Center, right? Wonderful therapists, right? They have the utmost patience for the people that we're working with, you know, people that got dementia. Sometimes they lash out at us. They say things about us.
Right.
You know, but we all have this calm perspective that we don't take anything personally.
Yeah, you can't.
So we try to find common ground with them so that they will work with us, right? Even if we agree, like, you agree with them, even though you don't. But it allows
Let them believe that you're agreeing with them, so
it allows them
the peace.
Allows them to do so. I would think, you know, like, people like us would be the ultimate politicians because we are peacemakers. We're trying to find common ground.
Exactly.
You know, instead of getting angry and offended, you know, it seems like people cannot find common ground anymore. And I don't understand that. I mean, I grew up in the 80s where you had, like, who was it? Ronald Reagan, and I forget who his Democratic opponent was. They didn't attack each other.
You know what? What was lost? Listening skills. You have to listen to understand. And I think people get so caught up and they don't want to listen, so they blurt out. I mean, I've been guilty of interrupting conversation or two.
And that's okay. Everybody's entitled to your opinion, right? The problem is that if your opinion doesn't agree with yours, then it escalates and it becomes argumentative, and then it goes to the next, and then before you know it, violence. All right. So I don't understand that philosophy.
No, there should be no violence. I think so. It's all depending on the person's emotional IQ, like understanding your perspective. You might have something that I might not agree with, and I have to just settle with the fact that we might not agree with it.
And that's okay. You're agreeing, but that you can't force the other person to have the same opinion. And that's fine. You know what, you move on. That's why I say, like, in our line of work, they forget about it. They get angry, but we don't respond. Just like, my ancestors were Sephardic Jews from Spain, right? My last name Sainz is a Jewish name.
No
right?
way.
So my family converted because we had to. You know the whole story in Spain, right? Well, the Moors were in power for like 800 years. And then Isabella came, que estuvo un poquito loquita, right? And so she decided to take Spain back from the Moors. The crazy thing is, like I say, I speak in everything in neutrality, right? The Muslims allowed everybody to practice their religion. If you were Jewish, you were allowed to practice your Judaism. If you were Christian, you were allowed to be. But however, when Isabella came into power, she demanded that everybody convert to Catholicism.
Yeah.
So my ancestors, I guess, did it out of necessity, because if you didn't, you were. So, but we made our way, I think, the way the story of my family goes, I think we went to Monterrey, and then we made our way up into Texas. Now, we were no longer under Isabella's control. So
that's so cool.
We were free to go back to the old ways, to Judaism.
Yeah.
We didn't, because we believe in Jesus as the Messiah. So, and you go back into whole like book of Revelations, when the Jewish people have accepted Jesus as their Messiah, we're close.
Jesus is Son of God.
Yes, there you go. And I just found that, interesting as well, because, like I said, we could have gone back to our old religion.
We could talk hours about that. Shoot.
Yeah, and see, this is what I love to do. I've said this already in every single podcast. This is what I've been doing for the longest time: is having conversations, hearing stories, telling stories, and that's what I want to use, and to help people promote, to help you. Right? That's why this podcast is your time, and I'm just along for the ride, right? As your host, as your guide into interesting conversation about anything and everything, maybe like the Seinfeld of podcasting here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see you going that route.
And, just like, I touch up on it a little bit. The only thing is there's a couple of friends that I love to death, right? But they get highly political, and I go, I'm trying not to go there. I'm trying to stay neutral, and I want to stay neutral because I don't want to divide my audience, right? And unfortunately, it used to be in the past that you could voice your opinion and people still respected you, and still like I'll give you an example, right? You know who Willie Nelson is, right?
Who?
Willie Nelson.
Of course.
Okay, great artist, man, and a funny guy.
He's so funny. I don't think he cares about anybody's opinion, and that makes
But I think
charming.
but he mentioned his support for Beto back in the day. Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah.
And he lost like half of his audience.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's like, come on. I mean, he's a great artist, man. He's like also like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, the king of pop, great tunes. As far as what type of person he was away from the stage,
yeah,
I don't know.
Pobrecito.
But, I can appreciate him for his art.
Yeah, he's
his
a great
music.
artist.
And that's
Same thing with Kanye.
Yeah, God, that dude is
Such a great musician. Just like Michael. knows how to put that music
But did you ever
together.
see that when he came out on a some kind of, and he had this black hood over his face? It
Yep.
was like, what was the whole idea?
I think he's trying to do it as a form of art. Like everything that he wears is marketing.
Yeah.
Even
did you
even
see-
his girlfriends.
Oh God, man! No, wasn't that his wife?
Oh, wife.
His wife, and he had her come out
Basically
naked.
naked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you see his video?
I don't think he would respect her as much. So I think she's
No.
just an accessory.
That's terrible. That's
Yeah.
terrible. I'd never do that. But anyway, his video, I think Marilyn Manson is in one of his videos.
No way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. A new one?
Yeah, no, it came out a couple of years ago.
Oh.
And he's wearing a shirt that says White Lives Matter.
Dang. Yeah, he's definitely the man of controversy. I think if you want your name in the news and tabloids consistently, what you need to do is just constantly do crazy things. People would be like, "What? What's going on?"
They're saying like there's no such thing as bad publicity, and
I think he's mastered it.
yeah, I think it's only the point where you commit some kind of like sexual crime or something like that. There's no coming back for that.
Yeah,
P. Diddy. Speaking of that, like, is he gone to trial yet? No.
I think he's awaiting. Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I really don't watch a lot of TV, but like from the last
Especially the
time
news.
I heard was that they're waiting for something. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And but getting back to that, it's like I said, I'm a neutral guy, man. You're free to believe. This is America. You can believe and think whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting people, right? And
Don't hurt the people.
but like I said, any interesting things that happened to you lately that you can think of?
Shoot, in regards to,
Anything?
man, there's so many weird things that happen. We can be talking about the spiritual. We could talk about relationships. We could talk about
Relationships. Status, single, in a relationship.
I'm in a relationship
Awesome.
for the first time forever.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That makes two of us.
Yay! So you're saying we're both off the market?
We're both off the market.
Dang! I think God has blessed us because we have waited for, I don't know. I was never really looking, but I mean, I work a lot and I
Yeah.
probably turned down more possibilities of something that could have been because I was working.
Mhm.
And it's just, I was just trying to focus in and put both feet in my career that I don't think I would have been able to give him the time that he deserves, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just God's alignment is perfect.
His timing.
His
is perfect.
timing is perfect. No wind, storm, hurricane, or fiesta event can take you away from the person you're destined to meet.
But I think being in a relationship now is a lot more challenging than the traditional relationship back in 30 years ago, right? Because people work a lot. We're very busy. We've got so many different things going on. So it takes your significant other has to find common ground with you and have like an understanding of what you do and how important it is to you. And that doesn't mean that they're not important either.
Right.
Right? It's just the life and the world we live today.
It's chaos.
It demands a lot from us.
A lot of stress. And that can put a lot of pressure on both people. One of the things I think they say is really focus in on your person that first year, because with all the outside influences, with the swipe culture, with
Swipe right, swipe left.
yeah, with all of that, everything want instant gratification, and in relationships, that's not how it works.
No.
You can't storm off because they didn't give you an answer right away. You have to kind of slow back. You're not on social media. You can't swipe for the response. You kind of have to digest it, marinate on it, and think about what you're going to actually say to your girl before you actually say it.
Yeah. And I think the center of your relationship has to be God.
Nuestro Allah.
Yeah. Yeshua.
Yeshua. Yeah, so many.
And
Jehovah, Yeshua.
because, if he's not the center of your relationship, it's not going to work. It's just the cold, hard truth. My story was that my mom and dad are still together. They've been together 53 years.
Wow.
Right? So I grew up with that. I grew up with that expectation. When I got older, I was going to have my wife and my family.
Forever.
Right? But
yeah, me too.
didn't happen that way. And, there was lots of...
Por?
I don't know whatever the reasons. I'm not putting blame on anybody from my past.
It's all learning.
But when this last one, it was about 4 years. I was engaged. I was waiting to spend the rest of my life with this person. I thought she was my soulmate, and for whatever reason, it didn't work.
Oh no!
And I was like devastated. And so, you develop this mistrust for anybody. You don't want to and then
it's easy to fall into that.
But I did find Katya, Tibia Labiu, this woman that was persistent. And that's because I told her, look, I think you're a wonderful person, but I'm sorry, I just don't trust women.
I didn't even know that. I would have never known that about you.
Well, I was thinking that, right?
Oh.
But I did tell her that.
Because you've always been so happy and you're so sweet. And
then like I said, and all of a sudden, I think I decided, God showed me, look, everything you're wanting is right there in front of you. So what is your problem? And then once that veil was lifted, because I think the way it comes now, everybody has this perception when it comes to relationships that it's the butterflies and it's magical. And yeah, great.
I want to blame the Disney movies and definitely want to blame all the romance comedies where Serendipity or all of that stuff. I'm a huge rom-com. And yeah, we can't plug in those rom-coms into a guy and then have him already know to do that for us. So it's the expectation is always not met because of that.
Yeah, and so that's what we're expecting. And it does happen, but from my experience, and I guess the real world, when it happens like that, it usually doesn't last. It tends to fade out.
Well, I think the chemistry, I think for one, men are more visual. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Men are visual. Women tend to be visual too, but then they want to listen to what comes out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've dated guys that are super gorgeous, and then they abren la boca. And I'm like, wait, are you serious? And of course, it might be fun for a month, but then you're like, okay, I'm bored. This guy does not have any brains, no ambition, or he's too caught up with more hair products and colognes.
They're metrosexual.
Super metro. Nothing wrong with metro. You do you, but I think I like the chop wood type of guy.
Yeah.
If the apocalypse happened, the metro guy is not going to save me.
This is going to ruin his manicured.
I've actually taken somebody to a date hiking to see what they would, if they're ready to go. And they showed up in guayabera and dance bachata type shoes
For real?
for a hike.
For a hike?
You get to learn so much about somebody on a hike.
How long was the hike?
3 miles.
Did you make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Slipping and sliding all over those shoes.
God.
Yeah. He tried so hard to impress, and he's still on my social media, so you know who you are.
That's hilarious. But like I said, it's totally different now, and it's not traditional. But I guess you got to work at it to make it work. It's not going to be easy. So many people nowadays, when they start dating, they encounter a disagreement. That's it.
That's it. They want to give up.
I don't want. I don't have time for this. I don't want to deal with this. I've been guilty of that. I've done that before.
Yeah.
When I was single, I dated. When I got out of a relationship, it was about 4 years ago. The one I was gonna marry, I was devastated. So I tried dating. And I dated several women, and
they're still brokenhearted.
Yeah, it wasn't there. But
it's the distaste, the sourness, the bitterness. It just lingers
there. But I'll never forget, man. I was just devastated. So I was trying to do all these things, right? Go out. I started working out regularly. I started going to these meetup groups, and then I went on this bike riding group, and there were a bunch of 60-year-olds, man, but they were fit 60-year-olds,
Heck
right?
yeah.
And we went on this bike, and then after it had only been like about maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was devastated. I was con el corazón roto, right?
Llorar y llorar.
There you go. That was actually me. But I'll never forget. Whatever Vicente and tequila. But I remember we were at like Panera Bread of all places, right? And I would just
The way you say it.
but it was because like we went to go eat afterwards, and
The cycling team?
yeah, the cycling team, and then we go up there, and I hope I don't get emotional with this. I remember I went there and I got my food, and I couldn't stop thinking about how heartbroken I was. And this dude, con el pelo largo, he goes, "Can I help you?" Because I was carrying all these plates. He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Can I do something else for you? Can I pray for you?"
No.
And he goes, no, I don't get emotional. Right? He goes, and he goes, "I will pray for you." And I'll never forget that
Wow.
because it helped. It helped,
Yeah. No llores.
And so, but I'll never forget. That's how I know that there's a God.
Yeah.
And he's out there for you. He looks after you.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd never get over that. I thought I'd never get over that heartbreak.
Yeah.
And here I am, And I felt better. I started not looking at the heartbreak, but they say everything happens for a reason. Right?
Absolutely.
Some people come into your life
a blessing or a lesson.
For it may be a season, for a season. They weren't meant to stay. And I understand that now. And I'll never forget what she told me, and I'm not saying her name, but I'm not going to be the center of your happiness. I shouldn't be the center of your happiness. At that time, it was brutal, but it makes sense. Because true happiness comes from within.
Yeah.
And not to mention this is what I believe, you should love more than anything is God above.
Absolutely. Amen.
You shouldn't, and I may have been putting more
emphasis
to that person and maybe forgetting about him.
And yourself.
And myself. Gave up a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you that, you should put God first. And when you put God first, everything else falls into line.
Amen to that. Alignment.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, I've gone through some heartbreak too. Shoot. But just like you said you hit it right on the nail. Like, everybody's either going to be a lesson or a blessing. And it's not for the next person to pay the price for the person that did you wrong before. Mm-hmm. It's the lesson that you learned so that you can take those tools, what you could do better, and become that better person for the next person. You deserve to be a better version of yourself, just like you would want your partner to be a better version of their healed self so that you guys can come together.
Exactly.
Nobody is perfect by any means. Like, you might have some stuff that you're still dealing with. I might have some stuff that, I'm dealing with. But the beauty in imperfection is coming together and working and communicating through those imperfections to say, let's compromise. I know that you absolutely love drumming on these days, and I like my book reading. Let's compromise that we do it on these days.
On these days. There you go. Going back to, here we go, circle. You find common ground, you compromise. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people are not doing nowadays. And that's the reason why we have the kind of problems that we're having.
Absolutely.
And they're forgetting about God, or they're using God for their ideology. I'm not saying which side, but when it boils down to it, what's morally right and what's wrong.
You should.
and so
Unless you've never opened up a book and kind of taken a look at what's written.
mhm,
Like, that's why for me, I was raised Catholic,
mhm.
but my neighbor was apostolic. So they were doing the Old Testament. No women could wear pants, makeup. They couldn't cut their hair.
So I haven't
And-
heard of that. What is what is it called?
Apostolicos.
Apostolicos.
And basically, it's like Christianity, but they're Old Testament. So, like,
That's all they follow those
the women
the old ways.
do the little veil for church, no makeup, they can't cut their hair. It's very tight knit. And she opened up the Bible, the Catholic Bible, and said, Edith, doesn't your Bible say you're not supposed to idolize or worship anything that's not God? I'm like, yeah. And I got baptized. I went to catechism, and I even had my quinceañera, but I didn't do my confirmation because I was spiritually looking for something that actually hit home. And one of those was finding out the truth, right? Like, what is the truth? What for me? And you're right. Why did we take Jesus Christ hanging on the cross and kiss that statue when that statue is man-made? That's not God. We're not supposed to be doing that. So that kind of contradicted that. So for me, I got lost. That kind of like unwrapped something in me that I said, maybe I should look at Buddhism. Maybe I should look at, Christianity. Maybe I should look at the Church of Baptists, all of these things. And I kind of just got so spun around and misguided as a youth that I just didn't go to church for 10 years until I came to Texas.
I see. And what would you classify yourself now?
So I am Christian, but even now, the further that I'm looking at everything that's happening in this world here in the United States, there's a lot of Christians that are doing very unchristian things. And that's not what the Bible says to do. You're my brother, you're my sister. Why are we doing these things to our fellow people? Like, and that's why for me, I'm always studying, and we have to take it upon ourselves to kind of like do our own due diligence and read it. So you're not, que no te hagan menso. Like, so that people say, oh, you don't know. Well, yeah, I actually did open up a book and I read, this is what it says. So I've been a Christian for so long, but I'm even reading like the Quran. So there's so many similarities, but the Quran is way more colorful and it actually pulls science. There's science in it. You will not see that in King James's version. And King James was a pervert, by the way. He was a pedo.
Oh, they said the same thing about Muhammad.
No, he wasn't a pedo.
That's what I heard. But I don't know.
No, the pedo. No, I love watching documentaries like the Renaissance era, and I watched an entire series on like King James and all of that. So I'm like,
But then it goes back to, you know what? When it goes, we could say we can make these assumptions because of what we've been told.
Right.
For instance, I'm going to give you an example of, I studied Texas history, right? When I was in school, they taught it to us.
right.
Now, you heard the term that history is always written by the victors?
They
Right.
say, yeah.
And then the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Right.
So like what you said about King James, what I heard
book.
about Muhammad,
Yeah.
do we really know that? Or that's what we've been told. That's what we've been told,
Yeah.
and that's what's been documented. Okay, it's been documented, but who documented it? And did they document it because they knew that is the truth, or what they wanted to put out there for people to believe?
Yeah, Aisha and a lot of other people that walked with Muhammad got the word from God themselves. So it's not been translated for anybody's personal political
yes.
propaganda. Like a lot of, think about it. If it was Catholicism forever, the moment they escaped Europe and they brought their branching faiths into the U.S., everybody changed the book, the Bible, to meet how they want to control certain people. So that you cannot follow different versions. You have to go back if you want to be a scholar and see where it roots from. And like, that's why for me, it's very interesting that like the Quran has not been changed at all.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to read it. I'm not Muslim by any means, but I'm going to read it. So I can, if somebody says something, I can say, well, actually, I did read it. This is what they're saying about science. How did they know in science how the entire baby is being created and at what stages? How did they know that back in the day? There was no MRIs or sonograms and things like that.
So the way I look at it, and that's great, and I it's great to, I didn't know anything about that, and very interested in learning about that because I've worked with I've worked with Muslims, I've worked with Jewish people,
Yeah.
I even worked with 2 pagan witches.
Yeah, I think it's the Torah, Muslims, and like the original word, like with the Jews and the Muslims. So,
but I can, defend my faith
yeah,
because I'm still Catholic, because those Catholic values, I went to catechism and all the way up when I was 17. Okay.
there's a song.
Yeah, I know that's the Canadian ragweed, right? But anyway, there was this guy named Druel Peña. And when we were younger, he was beating the tar out of this little kid. And so I went over there and tackled him and took him down to the ground. I said, what's your problem? Why are you doing that to him? What did he do to you almost beating him to death? I go, why don't you try doing that to me? And at the time, I was bigger than him. Man, you don't know who I am. I go, you don't know who my friends are. I'm not talking about your friends. I'm talking about you. Try that on me. So he backed away.
Yeah.
Well, years went later, he got bigger than me and a little bit crazy. But my dad always taught me, you stand your ground. Even if you get beat the crap, but you make him pay. You bang on those huevos, poke out his eye, pull off his ear. You bite, you fight dirty. You make him think twice about doing it again. You may take a beating,
Exactly.
but you're gonna make him think twice.
Yeah, exactly.
So my senior year, right? I was a skinny flaquito. I was what I am now.
Really?
But I weighed like 150 when I graduated from high school. And I'm 6'1". I was a chupis. And this guy was shorter than me, but way over 200 pounds. And he comes up to me. It was at an assembly. And he tells me, "What I knocked it out of you right now." I looked right at him. Said, "Go ahead, take your best shot."
No way.
But guess what? There's no guarantee you're going to hit me.
Oh my God.
And I will hit back. So he thought, because remember, deep down, all bullies, cowards.
Yeah.
And I was shitting bricks.
They run on intimidation.
Because this guy had knifed somebody already.
Oh my gosh.
So he walked off. The next day, was going to my locker. All I heard was, "Hey!" It's the last thing I remember. What he had these skull rings.
Oh no.
So he came running, and he, back here, back of the head, had my head open, I fell on the floor. It was,
No.
and then he finished me off with one of these to the side of my face.
Oh my God.
And the Converse thing was here. And then the teachers were there.
¿No hicieron nada?
It was only my friend Aaron De Luna that came towards the end and pushed him off.
Ay, ay.
And I got up, I had an adrenaline rush. I go, "Where is he?" And they said, "Well, my brain started to swell." And I went blind. I couldn't see. And so he took me to the ICU. And see, we lived in this little town called Falfurrias, Texas. The closest hospital was Corpus, which was about an hour away. They rushed me in the ambulance over there. They put me in the ICU, and I couldn't see. And it was just all of a sudden, my eyesight came back. And the neurologist says, "We don't know with the amount of trauma that you took why your skull is not cracked. Actually, we don't know how you're still alive."
Holy moly.
And for the longest time, I had carried so much anger and I wanted revenge.
Holy moly. Yeah.
And then, but I go, wait a minute. My faith, my Catholicism doesn't teach that. It teaches the way of Jesus.
Yeah.
It teaches the way of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right? So years later, and I said, you know what? I found out that this guy, the path that his life took after that was very tragic. He ended up living in the projects. He had ballooned up to, I don't know, over 300 and some pounds. He died.
He must have been going through something himself.
Yeah. And, nobody knew that he had died until they smelled the decomp.
Oh.
But if I would have known, I would have gone to his funeral. I would have prayed for his soul. And I would have told him, you know what? I forgive you.
He was going through something for sure.
Be at peace.
Yeah.
But that's how and it was, to my faith has taught me that way. And it's actually led me down the path that I'm on right now of servitude, of helping my fellow human beings. I've worked with children with disabilities.
Yeah.
I'm working with the elderly, people with dementia in these nursing homes where their family has abandoned them. Mm-hmm. I listen to them. I enjoy it with compassion.
Yeah.
Like it says, it's all going back to my faith. I know, so there's some people that have, I'm not saying that you had that same type of experience, but had to leave. And, like I said, everybody takes a different path, but I respect everybody's faith and belief. Like I said, I work with people from every nation, but my home is Catholicism.
Yeah, I don't think there should be an actual branch. Like, if I could erase the branches, I would love to, because Jesus never wanted religion.
Yeah, no, but
he himself felt pain. He himself was human here on earth.
Yes.
Jesus. He didn't want to teach religion. He just wanted to teach the word that he heard from God. Mm-hmm. And that's the word we should be following.
And that's
and people
great.
Forget that. People forget that.
But there's people like me. I said, but I'm not like Orthodox. That's like my home, right? Like I said, I work with people. I even went to the Russian Orthodox Church. That was something else, because you know the difference between Orthodox and the Roman Catholics.
No way.
It's like night and day.
Really?
Yeah. See, because with us, you have the Bible, and then you have the gospel, and how you apply that to everyday life.
Right.
Right? Orthodox is about worship.
Really?
Worshiping God.
Yeah.
So what they do, their form of worship is singing. So their service is
It's almost like apostolicos.
There you go. It's about 2 hours long.
Yep.
And it's like song after song after song after song.
And you're standing there, and I'm like, man, my feet are getting tired. Are they?
Yeah, and it's exactly, you stand, right?
Yeah.
There, of course, they have benches for the people that cannot stand. I mean, they said they can sit, but there's these rugs, and they do about a million signs of the cross. Leslie Nielsen in that movie, that parody movie, You're Repossessed. and it was very, of course, it's in English. Right?
Yeah.
And but like I said, I've been to that. I've been to Baptist.
Me too. You've been on a journey.
Yeah, I worked with this one family. They were from Laos, so they were Buddhists.
Buddhists, yeah.
And
that's the one I didn't get to go explore.
They were such wonderful people.
Yeah.
Right? I remember, like I said, working on the northeast side. Mm-hmm. I saw the temple. Right there, and every time I see something interesting, I like to take pictures or video of it. Right. So I went in there and I saw it. I started picking. I felt bad because I saw one of the monks come out. He says, "No, you don't have to leave. Come, sit."
Welcoming. Yeah.
Like I said, if you just want to sit here, we don't have to speak. And it was very calm, very peaceful.
Wow.
So, like I said, I respect everybody's belief.
Yeah.
And religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but this has been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of my podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a really good way to reconnect. So from the trails to in front of the camera.
So, Edith Melendez, where can they find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms.
Awesome.
So
check out. You have any, real estate or your financial future contact her. She's got great information about your future. You don't want to be left out in the cold, right? You want to make sure your family's being taken care of, and you yourself are taken care of in those golden years, right?
Yes, those
They
golden years for future years to come.
What's it called? The nest egg? Or the golden egg? What's it called?
The golden egg, the nest egg.
The nest egg.
For generations.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Protecting your family.
Vos vemos. Hasta la próxima.
Hasta la próxima.
Peace.
Peace, peace, peace. I was like,